Thank you, Jason. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. Today, I will be chairing the hearing. My name is Robert Hutchings. On the panel, I'm joined by Robert Belenke and Michelle Duncan. Our secretary today is Jason Robertson, and the assessor representing the Assessment and Taxation Department, City Winnipeg, is Drew Thiessen. To the participants of the hearing, please note, to the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following their swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions again. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the Board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the Board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. On the docket today, we will be hearing items number 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Mr. Robertson, please affirm the assessor and the applicant's testimony for.
Mr. Assessor?
Yes.
Please state your full name.
Drew Thiessen.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Applicant?
Yes.
Please state your full name.
Bram Neufeld.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman? You are muted. Mr. Chairman, you're muted.
Yeah, you just froze. Your end just froze, but okay. Mr. Robertson, could you please affirm the assessor and the applicant, please?
We did that. It was
yeah, I lost your connection.
for sure. Okay. Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Drew Thiessen.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Bram Neufeld.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with item number 1, file number 22-3096, Address is 988 William Avenue. The applicant is represented by Colliers International. And Mr. Thiessen, if you would just bear with me, I'm going to get your docket pulled up here. Okay, Mr. Thiessen, 988 William Avenue, when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. 988 William Avenue, roll number 130-620-90100. It's located in the West Alexander neighborhood. It is a 2.5-story multifamily conversion build, built in 1901, living area of 3244 square feet. It has a full basement that is unfinished, has 4 full bathrooms, no central air, no fireplaces, no garages. The assessed lot size is 4,974 square feet, and there are land influences on the property of a bus route, commercial adjacent, and a medium traffic influence. The comparables are all located in the West Alexander neighborhood except for Comp 4, which is in the Spence neighborhood. They are all 2.5-story builds, multifamily conversions. Built between 1905 to 1907, living areas between 2249 square feet to 2676 square feet. All have full basements. Comp 3 has a full part area basement, so there's going to be a part of the area that has just a crawl space underneath it. And none of them have finished basements. The bathroom counts are fairly similar to the subject. Comp 3 has the exact same number of full bathrooms, being 4, and then Comp 1 has 2 less full bathrooms, Comp 2 has 1 less full bathroom, and Comp 4 has 1 more full bathroom. There is central air conditioning located only at Comps 1 and 3, and then Comp 3 has a detached multi-car garage. The rest of the comps do not have any garages at all. The lot sizes range between 2986 square feet to 5604 square feet. Comp 1 does have the same commercial adjacent and medium traffic influences as the subject. In addition, it also has a school influence and an external corner influence. Comp 4 does also have the commercial influence, and it is missing the medium traffic influence and bus route influence that the subject does have. The time adjusted sale prices range between $256,300 to $365,800, and the time adjusted sale prices per square foot range between $95.78 per square foot to $162.65 per square foot. I did speak with Ayrton from Colliers a little while ago in August. He said that the wiring was redone, windows were redone, and the roof were redone. I believe that he said that was in 2006. I did a review of the Google Street View, and it looks like the exterior is completely redone sometime between 2007 and 2009. Windows, doors, roof, exterior finished all look like they were kind of redone. The current assessed value for the property is $312,000 or $96.18 per square foot, and I believe that that value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Does the applicant have any questions on the assessor's evidence presented so far?
No questions. And sorry, I don't know if I should have said this earlier, but right now we are planning to confirm the assessments.
Okay, so you're requesting confirmation?
Yes. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Sorry, with these fourplexes, it was just kind of thought we could use a review on them, and that's at the time of filing. And
no problem. Okay. Michelle, any questions on the assessor's evidence? Nothing, Michelle?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Robert, any questions?
No questions.
Okay. All right. And Mr. The agent has stated that the applicant is requesting a confirmation of value at $312,000. Is that right, sir?
yes.
Okay. Okay, if there are no other questions or comments required by either party, is that right?
It's okay by me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, leave it with us. Thank you. And that concludes our first property at 988 William Avenue. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All
Go.
right, thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Mr. Chairman, item number 3, we don't have appearance for yet.
We have no appearance or contact from 207 Maryland. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Shall we proceed then with item number 4?
I'm just going to make a statement. Thank you. Item number 3 on the docket. 207 Maryland. There is no representation available right now. Property address. This property address will be moved to the end of the docket. Okay. Next property on the docket I'm showing is item number 4, file number 22-422, and the address is 696 Banning Street. And we're dealing with a 2023 Realty Appeal.
The applicant is in person. I will swear him with your permission.
Thank you.
Please state your full name. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please have a seat.
Good afternoon, sir. We're dealing with 696 Banning Street. Mr. Thiessen, bear with me 1 second while I get this docket up, or this brief, pardon me. Okay, Mr. Thiessen, 696 Banning Street, please.
Okay, thank you. 696 Banning Street, roll number 130-225-63000. It's located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. It is a 1 3/4 story build, multifamily conversion. Built in 1912, living area of 1306 square feet, has a full basement with no finished basement, has 2 full bathrooms, no central air, no fireplaces, and does have a detached multi-car garage. The lot size is 2476 square feet. The comparables are all located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood, except for Comp 4, which is in the St. Matthews neighborhood. They are all either 1 1/2 story or 1 3/4 story builds. Comp 1 and 3 are 1 1/2, and Comp 2 and 4 are 1 3/4. They're all multifamily conversions built between 1909 to 1922. Living areas between 1080 square feet to 1866 square feet. They all have full basements. 2 of them have the full part area with a crawl space underneath a small portion of the area. That being comps 2 and 4. Comp 1 does have a finished basement. Roughly half the area of the basement is finished. And the bathroom counts are all identical to the subject, except for Comp 1, which has an extra full bathroom. Comp 3 does have a central air conditioning. The other 3 do not have any central air conditioning, no fireplaces at any of the properties. And then 2 of the comps have garages, being single car garages detached at comps 1 and 4. The lot size ranges between 2490 square feet to 2874 square feet. There are land influences at comps 2, 3, and 4. Comp 2 has a medium traffic influence and a bus route. Comp 3 has a community club or rec building influence, as well as an internal corner and light traffic. And Comp 4 has a commercial adjacent. The time adjusted sale prices range between $111,200 to $174,400, and then the time adjusted sale prices per square foot range between $90.14 to $137.07. I did speak with the appellant in August. They had mentioned that there were major issues with the previous neighbor. According to the appellant, this neighbor did move out 2 years ago. The deficiencies were mentioned during the call included water penetration into the basement due to significant pooling at the side yard, which based on what he had said, this appears to be related to the grading slope for the neighbor sloping towards their house. The appellant also mentioned a major roof issue that was repaired last year. He said that the roof would have collapsed if the repair had not been completed. And I requested some photos and quotes or estimates related to the deficiencies. He said he would get back to me by email. The only thing I actually did get, though, were some photos of the water pooling on the side of the house and some water into the basement. The issue does appear to be somewhat structural. We have been kind of aware of this since about 2010. The appellant did attend the board of revision back then and testified at that time that there were structural issues. So we have had it reflected in the assessment since that time. Currently, the owner did say that the property is used as a single family dwelling. He said that the electrical is detached for the second kitchen. I did request photos to update the property record to be a single family dwelling, but I did not receive that. And he said he would rather not go through that route. So without being able to see that second kitchen electrical is removed, I am currently leaving it as a multifamily conversion. I would need to see that evidence in order to make the change. So currently the assessed value is at $150,000 or $114.85 per square foot. And I do believe that value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Does the applicant have any questions of the assessor's evidence presented so far?
Yes. I have problems.
Sir, would you mind moving closer to the microphone, please?
The microphone in front of you, in front of the computers. Oh, okay.
Okay.
That way they can hear you. Okay. Yes, sir, I have problems.
Thank you. Do you have any questions of the assessor's brief presented so far? You will have an opportunity to present any issues you have with the assessment in a couple of minutes, but right now we're just dealing with the assessor's evidence presented in the brief. Do you have a copy of it?
Do you have the email? He should have a copy. If he wants another one, I can print one off, or I can give him this one too.
So I would ask you to review the brief that the assessor presented, and if you have any, I'll give you a moment to review it. If you'd like a moment to review it, and then if you have any questions arising from that review, but take your time, please.
It's the same evidence you would have received an email from during the evidence exchange a couple days ago.
So in that brief, if you look on the subject line, the far left column, the assessor has detailed the assessment department's characteristics of your home, what it's assessed for per square foot. Then he's provided 4 comparables of market evidence, comp 1, 2, 3, and 4, that he feels, in his opinion, justifies the assessment value of $150,000.
I don't agree with that, sir. Because I have problems in that house created by the city of Winnipeg.
Okay, you'll have.
I have roof problems and I have problems going into the basement.
Sure, you'll have your opportunity to present your evidence right away, but right now I'm asking you if you have any questions about the brief presented by the assessor.
Yes, sir. I have problems in that assessment because he's comparing to a normal house around the area, but this house has problems created by the city of Winnipeg. The problem is 12 years old. The neighbor who created this problem is going on for so long.
Okay.
I didn't have a chance to go and talk to anybody because this man was a consultant to the city and he was a friend of 2 city councillors. And the things that I have gone through, I have written a letter to the mayor and the letter was submitted. So you should have the letter submitted to you, sir.
Mr. Eric.
Because I cannot tell what happened in 12 years. I have a woman who has schizophrenia.
Okay.
And a lot of things involved.
Mr. To the appellant, please. You're presenting evidence, as I stated. You're going to have an opportunity to present that evidence. Right now, I would like you to focus on the brief in front of you. And if you have any questions on the evidence, the 4 comparables that the assessor presented to compare the assessed value to the market evidence. You're going to have an opportunity to present your case with the problems. But not at this time.
I cannot agree with him.
So do you have any questions of the assessor?
Yes.
Other than the comment about you don't agree with them? Or, okay, well, note that. Anything else?
I don't agree with him, what he said, the appraisal value, I don't agree with him.
Okay. Okay. So no other questions on the evidence presented by the assessor so far? Again, you're going to have your opportunity to present right away.
I didn't get it. What is that?
The paper that's in front of you,
Yeah.
do you have any questions about that particular paper, about that evidence?
See, I only have one eye. Excuse me.
No worries.
I only have one eye, so it's a
It-
little bit
it's-
hard for me to read it.
Yeah, it's the same evidence that we sent you via email as well.
Okay, so sir, I've given you an opportunity to review that brief. Just to move things along here, I'm going to assume that you don't have any questions on the assessor's evidence. If you decide to speak to it when you make your presentation, that's when we'll deal with it. Okay, is that fair? That's how we'll leave it, okay?
Yeah.
For now. Okay, thank you. Okay. Robert, any questions of the assessor?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, any questions of the assessor?
No questions.
Okay, Mr. Thiessen, I've got a couple here. Location of the property, 696 Banning Street. We are located, the subject between Ellis and Sargent Avenue. That's correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Comparables. Okay, I guess my question would be related to this, I'll call it a foundation problem. Would that be fair?
Based on what I've heard of it, yes.
Okay. And you stated in your presentation that the city was aware of the foundation problem and there's some kind of allowance, would that be fair to say, built into the assessed value at $150,000?
Yes, we did change the condition of the exterior from a average to a fair condition.
Okay, so I've got a condition modifier on there.
Yes.
That's the method that the department used to reflect the problem. And can you quantify the adjustment value?
I cannot. I don't know what the value would be.
Okay. But it's a way of reducing the assessment. In other words, if that condition modifier wasn't in place, the assessment would be higher.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And there was a complaint about the roof leaking, but apparently that's been physically that's corrected now.
Based on what the appellant had told me, that was corrected a year ago.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And in relationship to the calling it a multi-family conversion as opposed to a single family dwelling, multi-family conversion would be a single home that had been converted to, let's say, more than one family. So it would have a cooking and cooking kitchen facilities and bath facilities for a second self-supported suite. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and the appellant said that he's removed it. You asked for proof of that removal before you would change it to a single family dwelling. But proof wasn't forthcoming. Let's see, I guess my question would be, would the assessment be higher as a single family dwelling than a multifamily? Do you know?
It's tough to say. I didn't look into it, so I can't really say for sure one way or the other.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. That's all my questions. Okay, sir. The appellant, bear with us 1 second. I'm not sure if you've presented anything. Bear with me 1 second while I pull up your presentation, please. Okay. Can the appellant please make their presentation regarding why you think the assessment is wrong?
The assessment is wrong because I was dealing for the last 2 years with the city risk management branch. Finally, I got into them and they're supposed to correct my roofing. Like I was dealing with the city planning office. They made errors in giving this man, the next door neighbor, to put a 10-foot roof, 10-foot high, third floor, where he shouldn't have given. I have given proof to the city of Winnipeg planning office regarding the effect of wind effect on rooftops. It's a 10,000. There are over 10,000 studies. They didn't care for it. They gave this man the permission to put a 10-foot roof. In order, 10-foot, the 10-foot higher, another third floor. In order to do that, he had to have 3 foot on the side pathway, where he didn't have it. It's a common property between me and the neighbor, the 694. What he did was he brought a surveyor, Vance and Duncan, and he was trying to survey. I knew it was wrong. It was going through the middle. So I went and questioned the surveyor, where is the boundary? So he said, no, it's going here. I said, no, the boundary line chain link fence, because I have given pictures to yourself. You can read it, see it. I told him, no, that is the chain link fence is the boundary. When I bought this property, the lawyer told me all the boundaries are marked with chain link fence and that's the property. So no, he said no. Then we had a small discussion and then he said, the man 694, Murray Hines, he's the one who is paying for it. If you have a problem, go and complain. So I wrote, because these are two high-rise houses, so in order to put the ladder even, somebody has to go to the back. They won't go on because I have 7 valleys on the roof. So they go to the back where they can easily reach to the top. So, and also if this man separated like this, I only have 2.2 feet on one side, 1.1 foot on the other side. When they built these two properties, the middle was known as a common place. They cannot, it's a special property known as, no one can separate it. But this man came with the plan because he wanted to put the 3rd story and he has to get the 3-foot side pathway. So he wanted a survey to take 6 inches from my land. So what I did, it was not right to me. So I wrote a letter and I came and saw Mr. Harvey Smith in his office. But apparently he didn't read my letter. He went to Mr. Russ Wyatt's office, and after 10 minutes, he came back and told me, I knew that he knew the story before, because this gentleman was working for this as a consultant to the city, Murray Hines 694 owner. So Mr. Harvey Smith came to me and pointed his two fingers at my eyes, and he said, if you don't survey the property, you will lose your pants too. He said. I got a shock. My wife was there, and she got a shock too. We are coming for help to this man, and he turned around and tells me this. So I went back home. We were worried what's going to happen. I didn't have money. My wife has problems, schizophrenia, and we don't have any help. And I had a heart problem in 2001, and I went to. They did a stent. They were trying to put a stent, and while they were doing, I passed out. They had to use pedals to bring me back. Pardon me?
Can the appellant just perhaps we understand the problems with the
I will tell the problems. The problem is
okay. But I'm going to ask you to go to the photos in your presentation.
Yeah.
Maybe refer to those photos and quickly summarize how they're relevant to what's going on with the property line, I guess, and slope of the side yard.
The man installed paving stones. When he was doing the paving stones, I called the city of planning office and I said that's not the right thing. He has to have a cement block, which was before. You can see that, And I told them no. They didn't answer my call for 2 weeks. After about a month, they sent me a letter saying the winter is coming. We cannot do anything now. It's only in the spring, Come back in the spring.
Okay.
But by that time, this is all, he has already put the paving stones and everything. And the landscaping was no good. You can see it on the pictures. It is all slanted towards the water to go into my basement. It is all slanted. You can see it, sir.
Okay.
For the last 9 years.
And I'm asking you,
okay.
Sir, I'm asking you to refer to which photos you're talking about so that the panel has an understanding of the problem. We understand.
Going into the basement, sir.
We understand there's a problem with the neighbor not complying with standards required.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you refer to which picture you're talking about?
I don't have my pictures. I already gave it to you. I have some pictures. I don't know how to number it, but I sent you several pictures. You can see the pathway, the pavements. Paving stones,
Yeah. All right.
And you can see the gate, and you can see the water coming towards my house like puddle. Every time it rains, I have to go out and I have to sweep the water day or night. Thundering storms, lightning, because I don't want all the water to go into my basement. So
of course not.
I have to sweep the water to the garden.
Yeah, and we understand there's a problem with the slope.
It's a big problem, sir. So they cannot appraise my house the way they appraise a normal house. The city has, and I'm dealing with the risk management branch for the last 1 year. They don't want to talk to me. They're just keeping quiet. They say we are studying. We are studying the issue. Even the roofs, sir. There is the city of Winnipeg gave permission to this guy, but it is, they never studied the problems that will arise in the future to the neighbor. That's what I'm facing, sir.
Okay, we understand.
I have a lot of problems to straighten out.
We understand there's a problem between the side yard slope.
Thank you.
We understand that totally. And my question is going to be to the assessor. And I think the assessor's already explained this to you. Mr. Thiessen, is there an adjustment for the problem of water leakage due to the side yard slope?
Yes, there is a adjustment to the exterior condition to reflect the fact that there are these structural issues present.
Okay. So the assessor stated that the assessment doesn't include an adjustment, sir. So, and you showed us photos. You showed us photos of the problem, and I believe the panel has a full understanding that there's a physical problem here. But I might as well deal with it right now. If you think the assessment is wrong at 150,000, what do you think it should be?
the previous was 140,000, I believe.
Well, we're not going to go backwards, but so you're saying, so what you're saying is you don't want the assessment to increase. Is that right?
No, at the moment, because it has a problem. The
Okay.
property has a problem.
And what is the value you're asking for?
Even less than 140,000, sir.
140. Okay. We have, the panel members and the assessor has a full understanding of the problems you're having with that side yard and the problems it's causing on the interior of your basement. And I just want to, we have a full understanding, and you're asking that the assessment be revised to $140,000. Okay. Mr. Thiessen, any questions of the appellant?
I just have a couple, yes. When were the photos that are attached to your brief taken?
When were the photos taken?
Yeah.
Some were recently, some were about a year ago.
Okay,
No,
so
most of them are recently. Most of them are recently.
how recently?
The water was this week, this summer. The water was taken. The water damage was taken this very recently.
Okay, and what about like the roof?
Roof
that was taken before you fixed it, or?
Before a year ago, because the roof was done about a year ago.
Okay, and that was the
Before
pictures.
that.
The pictures that were taken before you fixed it.
Before the roof was done.
Okay.
Now the roof was done, so you won't see that.
Okay.
Before the roof was done.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
And have you had any estimates or quotes or anything to determine the extent of the structural issues that are present
Yes.
that is resulting in the water?
Yes. I took it to the city of Winnipeg. The risk management. I sent it to them. I have that. Yes.
And what value was attached to the estimate or the quote to fix the structural issues that resulted in water penetration into your basement?
The water damagement, they didn't do it, but only for the concrete work, just to, without doing the, digging and, resealing the basement outside, they didn't consider that. Just to cut off the cement and re-cement it, and re-cement from front to the back, the man damaged it. Front to the back, they estimated at 9,000 to take the paving stones off and the other side too, to take the paving stones off and do it, but not for the, to dig and reseal or waterproofing the basement, not for that. They didn't do that.
So they provided no estimate for the waterproofing?
They didn't do it because only the cementing they gave it, At that time I was taking that with the roof, to send it to the city of Winnipeg, the risk management branch, I was sending to Madam Gilroy as well as to the mayor. So I was taking that, but they didn't take in the consideration to go waterproofing the.
Okay. The assessors asked for an estimate on repairing the foundation, and you're saying that you've never done an estimate to repair the foundation. Is that right?
It will be more than 9,000, sir. 9,000. Because only the cementing on the top, only they said that.
You've answered the question. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Thiessen, any other questions?
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle, any questions of the appellant?
Not of the appellant, just wondering if I can ask the assessor a question.
Of course.
Was the roof condition considered in prior assessment similar to the basement issue back in 2010? So was there previous modified value for the roof issues?
It wouldn't be taken into consideration in that exterior condition change. It is a roof thing. I don't know exactly if someone was reviewing it. I don't have direct notes reflecting the fact of a roof issue.
Yeah. Can I interrupt?
No, that's fine. Michelle, any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Robert, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, to the appellant, I'm just going to confirm that the photo that you've shown, that roof has been replaced. Is that right?
Sir, it's not over yet. It has been replaced temporarily. I can tell you that much because all the contractors told me, because the wind problem is still there. It's known as wind turbine effect on my roof, you know. It can be 5 years, it can be 7 years. The roof is going to have a problem again, sir. So I am asking the city of Winnipeg to correct that problem forever. But only way is to put metal roofing. So
you've already explained what you.
Help me here, sir. I want to finish it. If
No,
I didn't do the roof that time, my whole house would have collapsed. So I was waiting for the city of risk management branch. They were sending a snail mailing. I was contacting them with the emails, but finally they wanted the winter to set in. What they did was they were sending me snail mailing. 1 month it took for each mailing.
Stop, please. Stop, please.
Yes,
You've explained this. You've explained all of this to us already. We have an understanding of what's going on. My question was, yes or no, have the shingles been replaced since that picture was taken?
Sir, it has no guarantee. The shingle being replaced. It has no guarantee because
they have yes or no.
Can take my roof again, sir.
They have.
I have to find a good remedy for this with the city of Winnipeg. It's in that process now. It's not done yet. It's not finished yet.
My question is, yes or no, have the shingles been replaced?
Yes, it was replaced.
They've been replaced. Thank you. Simple. Thank you. Okay. And my second question is, did you ever get an estimate to waterproof that side of the foundation?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Did you ever get an estimate to repair the, how will I say this, to make the slope between your house and the other house, even though...
Only do the concrete. I got it.
I'm asking you a question.
Concrete to pour in from back to the front.
Okay. Did you get an estimate to re-pour the sidewalk between the two houses to prevent water coming from the neighbor's house to you? Did you, yes or no? Did you get an estimate?
Yes, I got an estimate, sir.
Okay, how much was the estimate?
For the cementing, on the top of the cementing.
Well,
it's not properly doing the work.
How much was the estimate to repair the sidewalk between the two houses?
What is that?
How much is the estimate? How much is the estimate to repair between the houses for a new sidewalk to prevent water flowing into your house?
9,000.
9,000.
9,000.
All right.
All those things and to replace from back to the front, because you know it's a long story, sir. It's not easy to explain to you unless we are on the site. That guy broke all my pathway from front to the back. And also that's the trench you can see, sir. There you can see a trench cut.
We have an understanding.
Landscaping that water goes in and comes to my basement through that too, sir. That was a one cement block from middle to the back.
I'm going to ask the appellant to stop talking for a minute, please. You've explained everything at least 6 times. We have a full understanding of what's going on in your property. What we're trying to determine is how much of an impact that would have on the market value. It's simple.
It's lots.
Okay. All right. I have no other questions. Mr. Thiessen, any requirement for a summary?
No.
Okay. And as the appellant, I think you've explained everything, and we have a full understanding of the problems you're experiencing between the two houses and the foundation leaking. So if you've got nothing else to say, we're going to leave it at that and leave it with us, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
So please ask the risk management branch to act. You know, the city of Winnipeg to act. They made a mistake, 2 big mistakes, and I'm suffering from that, sir. Ask them to get corrected. I am the one who is suffering, sir. You can appraise my house any way you want, but I am the one who is suffering, sir. Every rainfall, I have to go out and sweep the water. It's like a puddle, 6 inches puddle, sir. It's not easy for me. It's easy for you to say things, but it's not easy for me. Please take it from my side.
We are here to determine the market value of your property.
Market value is no good, that market value. I already told you what the problem is.
Yes, we understand. Leave it with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
For hearing me. Thank you very much.
All right. That concludes 696 Banning Street. All right. Next property on the docket is 387 Maryland.
There is no appearance, no communication for that item.
So 387 Maryland is again no representative. Thank you. So item number 6 on the docket, 387 Maryland Street. That property address would be moved to the end of the docket. Okay, so last property on the docket is item number 7, which is 760 Broadway. Item file number 22-831. And Mr. Thiessen, bear with me 1 second, please.
Absolutely. The decision is made after and you'll get it mail. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Thiessen, 760 when you are ready, please.
Mr. Chairman, for item number 7 on the docket, while he is in the waiting room, he's not in front of his camera. There was a mention that he had to leave temporarily to go to the hospital for his wife or something. It does appear that he has not been able to make it back.
Okay. Would we expect him back shortly?
I'm not sure.
Possibly. Maybe I would suggest that we recess for 5 minutes and await the return. Is there a contact that you could make? Do you have a contact number you could contact him and we could figure out if he's going to appear or not?
That would be perfect.
Okay, so we're going to recess for 5 minutes, okay?
Thank you.
The time is 1:50, so we'll be back at about 1:56. Thank you. I will now call the hearing back to order. Our next property on the docket is item number 7, 22-831 file number, and we're dealing with a 2023 Realty Appeal. Could you swear in the appellant, please?
Mr. Appellant,
Yes, hello.
please state your full name.
Oleg Chopik?
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chopik. And Mr. Thiessen, when you are ready, please, 760 Broadway.
Thank you. Subject property is 760 Broadway, roll number 120-902-83000. It's located in the Wolseley neighborhood. It's a 2.5-story build, multifamily conversion, built in 1907, living area of 2046 square feet, has a full part area basement that is unfinished, and it has 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. No central air, no fireplaces, no garages, a lot size of 3951 square feet, and it does have land influences of a commercial adjacent, heavy traffic, and school. The comparables are all also located in the Wolseley neighborhood. They're all 2.5-story builds, multifamily conversions, built between 1907 to 1913. They all have full basements, with Comp 4 having a full part area, living area between 1709 square feet to 2046 square feet. Comps 2 and 3 do have finished basements, a very small amount of finished basement area at right around 250 square feet each. Comp 1 has one extra full bathroom. Comp 2 has one extra full bathroom, and otherwise the Comps 3 and 4 have identical number of bathrooms. Comp 1 also has 2 fireplaces that the subject does not, nor do any of the comps. None of them have central air conditioning, and none of them have garages. The lot sizes range between 2343 square feet to 3080 square feet, and there are land influences on all the properties. Comp 1 has the commercial influence rather than commercial adjacent. It has an internal corner influence, and it has a medium traffic influence rather than the heavy. Comp 2 has commercial adjacent like the subject, an external corner influence, and a medium traffic influence. And then Comps 3 and 4 just have back lane influences. The time adjusted sale prices range between $328,600 to $392,700, and the time adjusted sale prices per square foot range between $160.61 per square foot to $229.78 per square foot. I did speak with Oleg on the phone this morning. He said that there have not been any changes made to the property since 2016, and he provided me the address for one comparable, but it was a post-reference sale. It sold in May of 2021, and that was located at 812 Honeyman. It was not even listed until April 14th of 2021. The subject has seen some upgrades prior to 2016. It has had updated kitchens, laminate flooring, windows, shingles, and eaves particularly. And Comps 3 and 4 are similarly updated. Comp 1 and 2 lack similar upgrades to the subject. The current assessed value is $293,000, and that would be $143.21 per square foot. And I do believe that value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Mr. Chopik, any questions on the assessor's brief presented so far?
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, and thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Yes, probably a question. Just wanted to clarify, as I heard the information on updated kitchen. Comp, to my understanding, is comparable. Did Mr. Thiessen mention that there was an updated kitchen in regards to the property in question, 760 Broadway?
Yes, not a recent one. There was a updated kitchen, likely done in the late 90s, early 2000s, based on the way it presents.
I'm not sure if that would be an accurate guess from my opinion, because I can guarantee that there are pieces of original kitchen in the home, or what would look like original kitchen was updated handle hardware. So I'm not sure if that would qualify as updated kitchen.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of the assessor's brief?
So far, no questions.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, any questions of the assessor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Robert, any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Thiessen, location, I guess we're on Broadway, the west end of Broadway. I'm just trying to look at your location here for the subject property, and we're Broadway. Okay, second property before. All right. Off of Honeyman, right? Yeah, okay. Got it. And what would the commercial adjacent be? Would you know?
I'm actually not 100% sure. I didn't look at it too thoroughly.
Are we near Gordon Bell School, across the street, kind of?
Gordon Bell's school will be probably around six houses down to the northeast.
Okay.
And then across the street.
Okay.
So basically at the end of the block.
All right. Now I understand where it is. Okay. I think that's all my questions. Okay, so just bear with me 1 second, Mr. Chopik. I'm going to pull up your brief, okay, that you presented. Or did you present anything? Is there anything on record?
I've submitted information today, and my apologies because we just got back to Winnipeg from being months away. We spent time
Right. Yes.
in Ukraine.
Okay. Well, the assessor has stated he has no objection in you making a verbal presentation. It would be good for the panel to be able to see what you're presenting, but is it you're going to make a verbal presentation? Is that correct?
Yes, the information that I was able to submit today were the picture of small properties in the area that I have information on recent sold value and recent assessment value, and those would be the comparable in terms of size and status.
So you want to present us with comparables that sold before April 1st, 2021, is that right?
There are some in that time frame as well.
And in the second point, I think I heard you say that you were also comparing assessments.
That was my understanding, but Mr. Thiessen in our earlier phone call kindly informed that assessment values might not be taken in of other properties, that it might not be taken into account. If that is correct, I understand that. Yeah,
okay, thank you. Okay, so the difficulty we have is we're going to have to handwrite your information, I guess.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
In your SharePoint, I submitted what the applicant submitted to me. It is in PDF format at the moment.
Oh, okay.
At the top of the file labels, it's labeled 22-831 late application.
Okay, thank you. Just bear with us while we try and track it down here.
Just to confirm, for that evidence, I didn't see any sales listed inside it. There wasn't more than one file, was there?
It was just the one file.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I've got Michelle, Robert, are you able to open it?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody got it? Does the assessor have it also?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Chopik, when you're ready, please.
Before I begin with the evidence, and again, as I mentioned, we just got back on a weekend, and then my wife had a surgery today, from which I just picked her up from the hospital, St. Boniface, just maybe 2 minutes before my turn was on. I was just looking on my phone on the video on the YouTube. So I tried to collect the evidence to the best of my ability, and I understand that it was still submitted late. So if I don't know if the best way would be to ask for rescheduling this so I can present it and Mr. Thiessen have the accurate way to review it, because there will be some information that I've collected since talking to Mr. Thiessen, as he's clarified not to use assessment value. But I would look for your guidance, Mr. Chairperson, on this one, if you allow me to present as is, or if there is a reschedule.
We'd rather not reschedule. We will, considering their circumstance, I see you've submitted one property as a comparison. Is that right?
Yes. And the second one, there is picture of. So my evidence consists of the historical image of the 760 Broadway property in question, and two properties that are in the close proximity, either on the same block or just on the Honeyman, so the next street over. So both can be seen from my property. First of all,
I think that rather than reschedule, we're going to proceed, but we'll certainly allow you to present them verbally, but we'll ask you to slowly so we can write down the details of the house size, house style, and how it compares to the subject property and the date that it's sold, that kind of thing, okay? I'll proceed. Okay.
Thank you. If I'm allowed, I would start with the historical development of 760. I have included a picture of the house is color in red. It's the picture from 2012, which represents the pre-updates situation of this house without the windows and without the siding as it can be appeared by the assessor without entering the home itself. My apologies. My apologies. 2009 is the picture where there is no updates. Since 2012, on Google Maps Street View, there is evidence of new doors and new windows. And since 2016, there is an evidence of new siding. So,
okay. So what we're going to deal with, excuse me, is the current physical condition. Okay.
So the current, since 2012, that is apparent when the new windows and doors were installed and were in good shape as it viewed on the picture, and it's confirmed on the picture from 2016. The house situation has deteriorated. My guess, I'm not a professional in this field, but it appears that there is a structural damage because the doors are shifting. So once every few months, I have to physically go up there and adjust the locks because they simply would not close. Similarly to the inside doors, that some of them are no longer closed and they're cut into 20 to 25 degree angle because of the house being either thinking. Again, I have not had the chance to confirm that with the professional, but all the evidence that you can see is there that the house is shifting. So the doors and the windows that are not properly closing both inside and from the outside.
Okay.
So since 2012, there has been no updates, only deterioration of the house since 2016. Also, in 2016, as it's evident that there was new siding done. Unfortunately, this, to my opinion, again, not a professional, this was a counterproductive update for the selling purposes because there was no insulation from the outside done to the house, and it's quite cold. So from the inside, apart from the paint or new hardware on the old kitchen, I wouldn't say that there were updates. When I took the possession, some appliances were not working and I had to fix them up a little bit so they are in a working condition. With this siding, the issue is that it most likely will need to be torn down because I don't see doing the renovation from the inside. With the current rental, there's 2 families in there, and it would be even more expensive for me to do it from the inside. Most likely it has to be turned down from the outside and re-insulated. For the reference, the heating bill for the only months of January for the last year for only main floor apartment, not talking about the entire house, only main floor apartment with the outdated baseboards, electrical heating that are installed there across the house, it was $743 only for the one apartment. So the heat loss and the issues with the house is quite significant and will require a significant amount of finances. One of the reasons that I don't see that house to be at that price value. I wasn't lucky enough to buy the house in a very crazy market, but it is what it is. So that's the just in a nutshell, the situation of the house. And should I had more time, I would definitely try to bring in the professional to provide you with a professional outlook. But the information such as the heating bill can be confirmed. Of course, it's not out of the air information. Are there any questions towards the overview?
No, not at this time. I think we've got an understanding what's going on physically with the property. You mentioned you had some comparables of market evidence. Would you like to proceed with those, please?
Yes, of course. So there is a house a few doors down for houses to the east north side or east at 738 Broadway that was sold in 2016. The square footage of this house is larger than the house in question on the screen. It's 2,278, and the current value is at 266, so quite way below the one that is in question. Again, sold in 2016 for 245. There is an evidence from the street view that the house has been updated, at least the siding to what we can see from the outside. Bigger square footage, similar lot size, way less in terms of.
We're having a little difficulty hearing you clearly. Could you repeat the address?
738 Broadway.
Okay. And
in 2016 for 245.
Okay.
Currently assessed at.
No, we don't want to hear the assessment. Okay, we're not going to compare assessments.
Okay.
My question would be, how big is the house? Do you have the square footage?
2,278.
Okay.
Finished basement, unlike in my case. Included garage, unlike in my case. 20% less in assessed value.
Okay. Well, again, as I mentioned, we're not going to compare assessments, okay? So that's going to confirm 738 Broadway sold in 2016 for $245,000, and it was 2,278 square feet. And you're saying that a lot of the characteristics are similar to your home. Would that be fair?
They're superior to my home because it does include garage and it does include finished basement.
Okay. All right. And you have another comparable to provide us?
Yes. Another one that I mentioned today, I don't know if it will be qualified because it was sold a similar time as mine in May of 2021 for 280. Again, similar outlook.
Well, Mr. Thiessen, any comment?
It is a post-reference sale, so we cannot look at that sale.
Okay. Okay. And so it's sold after April 1st, 2021. Okay, so I think we'll have to ignore that one. Anything else that you would like to say? Anything else to present, Mr. Chopik?
Yes, I do have some more information. I'm just looking through to make sure that those sales were before the reference date, as I wasn't aware that it would not qualify as an evidence. Before the hearing, my apologies.
No, that's all.
An example of the property in Wolseley at 544 Clifton Street, sold in April 2020. Would qualify?
Yes, that's correct.
It was sold at 294, but it is not a busy street, and it has all the updates, like updated kitchen, renovation. It looks from the outside is good. It's not shifted from the pictures that I can see. If I'm not allowed to list property assessment, again, that would help, but you
Yeah.
probably have the idea what I meant. But it's a residential house, an example of residential house that is probably a 50% more thought for, or 50% is probably understated, but a lot more sought for if you compare to duplexes. But again, that I had a quite limitation of the time to collect more. I would be able to find more should I have more time, but oh, my apologies, there is another one.
Could I ask the street name on that one? 544
Clifton Street in Wolseley area.
Clifton, Clifton.
Oh, Clifton. Oh, I see. Oh, right. Now, did you say that's a single family dwelling or is that a multi-family dwelling?
Single family.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned you might have one more?
Yes. I'm just...
Preferably, we would like to have multi-family conversion dwellings. So we're comparing apples to apples.
Yes, I understand. Another one was on Evanston. Unfortunately, I cannot locate. Unfortunately, I cannot locate the exact address. It was listed for 300, sold for 280. It was a duplex conversion. I just texted my real estate agent to confirm the address.
Okay. And the size of that house, please?
Yeah, that's my limit. That's the information that I was not able to obtain yet. But from the viewing, I saw the house myself. It was in a similar shape. It was a duplex, also turned into duplex. Used to be a single family home, similarly to.
Do you have the square footage on that one?
I believe it was 1890.
Okay, so about, let's say, okay, 1890, okay. And the address, please?
Was on Evanston Street. I can't find the number. I just recorded the street for some reason.
But you viewed it yourself and you felt that it was comparable to your property?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Not renovated, not updated, but sold for 280. And I believe it was just 3 months before the purchase date of mine, which was May. So it would bring us into winter of 2021, which like January, February of 2021, which would be before the reference date.
All right, perfect.
80 is the 100%, the number I remember.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So anything else you'd like to present at this time?
36 Evanston. 36 Evanston. And if you give me 1 second, I will provide you with all the reference information. My apologies that I'm doing this on a go.
Mr. Thiessen, are you finding these?
I'm trying.
Okay. Due to the circumstances, I'm going to allow this, an unusual situation with the appellants. So I think we're, yeah.
But yeah, my main reference would be 738 Broadway, as it has similar features as to the house in question.
Okay. Okay, divided by. Okay. Okay, Mr. Chopak, anything else you'd like to tell us before we have the questioning of your evidence?
I think that's the whole information I was able to collect today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Okay, Mr. Thiessen, any questions of the appellant's evidence? I know you're kind of on the spot here to review them, but take your time.
Yes, I do. Just give me 1 moment.
Of course, no problem.
Okay, so I guess the first question I have is that were you aware 738 Broadway and 544 Clifton both appear to be single family dwellings? From what I could tell.
From the 738 Broadway, I was under impression that it's either rented as a rooms or it was somehow a duplex. That was my impression.
From the MLS listing, it looks like it's a single family. And besides that, with the sale of 738 Broadway, do you feel that it would be reasonable to use a sale from 2016 when there's been a massive change in the market over the course of the 5 years from then to the April 1st, 2021 reference date?
I would assume that if we compare the market value and assessment, then yes, it would be reasonable.
Okay. And were you aware of the condition of the home at the time of the sale for 738 Broadway, where it appears to be basically completely original?
I can only use the similar information as Assessor can use without accessing the home itself. As to my understanding, 760 Broadway was not actually walked in. I would be willing to provide that information for anyone to view the original kitchens, but and run down the floors that for some reason were mentioned as updated. But for same reasons, I was not able to access the 738 inside, and I can only judge from the outside, and the outside is way nicer than 760. To my opinion.
So we're just trying to pull up the other property here.
Sure, take your time.
And were you aware that with 36 Evanston, it looks like only really one of the units might have been upgraded? Like it does have similar kitchen to your own, where it was upgraded not incredibly recently, probably sometime 90s, 2000s. Very similar way where the cupboards were updated. Flooring looks like it's been updated a little bit. Bathrooms a little bit. But one of them looks basically completely original for the kitchen. And yeah, it looks like probably just one of the 2 units. I'm assuming that there's only 2 units here because it is listed as a duplex on MLS. But it looks like only one of the 2 units was upgraded. Were you aware of that?
I would assume that similarly to 760 Broadway, the newer one of the 2 units was the newer kitchen is because of the conversion itself. And as it appears on Evanston, as similarly to the main floor on Broadway, there are features of original kitchen. So I would assume that those are probably in a similar state where the one kitchen is newer than other, simply by the fact that those were conversions and one kitchen were not done in 1907, but later when it was the conversion, maybe late 80s, maybe early 90s. So in those 2 features, they would probably be similar to each other.
Okay. And do you have the time adjusted sale prices for these properties?
Could you clarify your question?
So the time adjusted sale price would be because these sales didn't occur on April 1st of 2021, there would have to be some kind of adjustment for the change in the market between the time that they sold to bring the value to the market valuation date of April 1st of 2021, which is what we're looking at for your 2023 assessed value. Do you have those values, or do you just have the sale price alone?
Well, from earlier call, I was looking for the information specifically for the sale list, and if I were to collect the valuation, that is possible, but probably not within one morning that I had today, unfortunately, and that was part of the reason that I asked respectable chairperson if we should proceed, or maybe if if there would be a possibility to reschedule. But this is the all information I have to date.
Understood. And just one other question, just to confirm, you have not consulted with a structural engineer or any other experts regarding the repairs that you had mentioned, where you said the insulation, and you believe that there might be something structural going on with the shifting? So you have not had any consultations with any experts?
The only consultation I had is when I hired a person to fix the lock, who mentioned that this will be reoccurring situation because I called him twice, and then I started to do it myself as it was costing me. And I understood that it would be every so often situation, so I had to adjust to the situation to use my own labor to fix the locks.
Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Robert, any questions of the appellant?
No questions.
Thank you. Michelle, any questions of the appellant?
A couple. What date did you speak to Mr. Thiessen?
It was just this morning as I arrived over the weekend from Ukraine.
And the second is, what value is it you're seeking?
So my previous assessment, as received just half a year before this letter, was 264, and I thought that was reflecting the market value and also triggered by the sell price. As again, I cannot mention the assessment here, but if I were to look into those, I would assume that is the reasonable for the house in that situation. And it might look was deciding to be a bit newer, but unfortunately, it's just covering very bad work in terms of what has been done to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Mr. Chopik, my questions are: is there two dwelling units in this house?
Yes.
Two dwelling. Do you live in it in one unit?
I used to, not anymore.
You both rented out. And just to get an idea of the condition of the house, we're not developing an assessment based on income value, but I'm wondering what rent you're getting on each unit and whether it includes utilities or not.
It includes some utilities, and by your question, if I may clarify, are you asking about the amount per month?
That's correct.
Yes, it's $950 for the base rent, plus parking $50 if they want to, but I waived for some of them. It was not, unfortunately, easy to find renters for this unit, for those units. One has been living there for a long time in the upstairs, and bottom one is hard to get tenants into. Water is included. The heating, the electricity, hydro is tenant's responsibility. However, I was forced to cover some of that in the winter due to a high expense, and I didn't want to just the tenants, so we kind of get into agreement that I would cover a portion.
Okay. Just to clarify, you're getting $950 per unit?
Per unit plus parking. So, yes.
And the tenants were responsible for the electric baseboard heating, but because of the high cost, you compensated them to keep the tenants in place. Would that be fair?
Yes. Yes. That's correct.
And then there's parking if they have 1 or 2 cars, or how many parking spots do you have in the back there? 3? Okay.
Or each. Some
Okay.
of them do pay, some of them are exempt for now.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And is there a garage or is it open parking? Open, okay, okay. All right. Okay, I think that's everything. Mr. Thiessen, any requirement for a summary?
I'll put a little bit of a summary here just to say that I did present 4 comparables that are in the Wolseley neighborhood very nearby. 2 of which I had mentioned previously, comps 3 and 4 being fairly similar to the subject, whereas the comparables presented by the appellant, 2 of them are single family dwellings that I could tell from my quick review on the MLS as they were sprung on me. And the other one being kind of unsure as to whether it is the same condition or else slightly different, as well as not having the time adjusted sale prices. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chopik?
Yes, I would like to counter and said that one of those presented were duplexes, similar conversions, and I feel like some of the information presented by the assessor in terms of referencing the inside of the house without actually being inside of the house should not be qualified for the information. And I do have an open door, and I do invite Mr. Thiessen, if you would like to see yourself the original kitchen on 760 Broadway. I would like to mention, to take into account the limited time I had to prepare the evidence, and the Wolseley is quite an expensive neighborhood. So if we take the residential houses inside the Wolseley or the duplexes, they will be much more than the one on Broadway. And to my information, unfortunately, I'm being more of the reactive instead of providing my own summary. But if I were to reference information by Mr. Thiessen, he did indicated that all of them had either a fireplace or the finished basement or the garage. So I don't think that they are as well comparable as Mr. Thiessen mentioned in his speech as well.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Chopik, my last question, just to confirm, you're asking the assessment to be revised to about $264,000 to reflect the structural problems that are going on in the house. Is that fair?
Yes, and location already in comparison to other properties in Wolseley, as it's on the edge of the Wolseley.
Okay.
On a very busy street.
Okay, thank you very much for appearing, and that concludes 760 Broadway. Thank you, Mr. Chopik. Now, that's the last item present, owners present. So we do have 2 items, item number 3 and 6 that were non-appearance. So we're the board will now recess to deliberate with respect to the remaining items to be heard on the docket. So Mr. Secretary, could you please put us on private, please? Okay, thank you. Okay. So, Drew, so we're going to deal with item number 3, please. Just bear with us 1 second. And we're talking about 207 Maryland Street. Just bear with me 1 second while we pull up the briefs. Okay. Okay, Drew, when you're ready, 207 Maryland Street.
Absolutely. Would you like me to read in the comparables as well, or just the subject?
Maybe just a quick summary and whether you've had any contact with the appellant.
Okay. Subject property 207 Maryland Street, roll number 120-904-08000, located in the West Broadway neighborhood. It's a 2.5-story multifamily conversion built in 1904, living area of 2064 square feet. It has a full part area basement with some basement finish. It's a very small portion, 150 square feet. Full bathroom, 3 half bathrooms and 1 shower. It does have central air, no fireplaces, and does have a detached multi-car garage. Lot size is 4098 square feet. It has a bus route, a commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic influence. The comparables are all located in the West Broadway neighborhood, they all are actually in West Broadway neighborhood. They're all 2.5-story builds, multifamily conversions built between 1901 and 1904. The living area ranges between 1932 square feet to 2655 square feet. They all have full basements or full part area basements. 2 of the comparables do have finished basements with more finished area than the subject, that being comps 2 and 4. 3 of the comparables. Comp 5 also has finished basement area, but that one is much more comparable in size to the subject. For the bathrooms, comp 1 has less 2 half bathrooms, comp 2 less 2 half bathrooms, comp 3 less 2 half bathrooms. Comp 4 has 2 more full bathrooms and 2 more tubs. And then comp 5 has 1 more tub than the subject. None of them have central air conditioning. None of them have fireplaces, and none of them have garages at all. The lot sizes range between 2997 square feet to 5644 square feet, and comps 2 and 3 both have commercial adjacent land influences. The others have no land influences at all. The time adjusted sale prices range between $240,300 to $412,000, and the time adjusted sale price per square foot ranges between $102.36 to $210.20. There was a subject sale in December of 2015, $242,500, and the current assessed value is at $246,000 for a total assessment per square foot of $119.19 per square foot. I personally have not been in contact with the owner at all, and I believe that the value is supported.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Michelle, any questions of the assessor?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Robert, any questions of the assessor?
No questions.
Thank you. And I have no questions either. Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. In absence of the appellant, that concludes 207 Maryland Street. And the last item on the docket is item number 6, which is 387 Maryland Street. We're dealing with the 2020 Realty Assessment. Mr. Thiessen, if you don't mind waiting 1 second here, I'll find this find your brief. Okay. Mr. Thiessen, you can be a little bit more, you can summarize a bit more than going into the detail if you don't.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
This one will be a little bit different anyways.
Oh yeah, there we go. Vacant land. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. When you're ready.
Okay. 387 Maryland Street, roll number 130-500-61000 is located in the St. Matthews neighborhood. Currently is used as a multifamily conversion. However, there was a fire at the property on May 7th of 2021. The garage burnt down, back of the house was severely damaged. And since then, they have had where is it? They had the vacancy permit ordered in June of 2022. It is my belief that any purchaser of this property would be purchasing it for a demolition and redevelopment. So I pulled vacant land comps to reflect that fact. They are located in the North Point Douglas, Burroughs Central, William White, and Shaughnessy Park neighborhoods. So fairly nearby, similar-ish neighborhoods, but not exactly the same. Of note, this property is zoned as res multifamily, while the others are not. So there is actually more use that could be done with this property without applying for a variance. The time adjusted sale prices range between $38,500 to $152,000, and that would be $892 per square foot to $3327 per square foot. Current assessed value is $93,000 or $1538 per square foot, and I believe that value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Michelle, any questions of the assessor?
No, thanks.
Thank you. Robert, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. So just to confirm, Mr. Thiessen, this is considered the building has no value, ready for demolition. They've applied for a permit to do so.
Correct. But there is no application for a demolition permit at this point, no.
Oh, okay. But you've assessed it as being unusable.
Yes, no. There is no value to the building at this point.
Okay, and that's $93,000. My last question is, whereabouts on Maryland are we?
It's between Ellis and
Portage.
Yeah.
Okay, Ellis and Portage Avenue. Okay. All right. Okay, in the absence of the appellant, and you had no contact, is that right?
I did speak with them. That's where I got all the information about the burn and the vacancy permit and everything.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, in the absence of the appellant, that completes 387 Maryland Street, and I believe that completes our docket today. Now I'm going to have to, Jason, I'm going to have to go back online again to conclude the hearing.
We are still online. We're live currently.
We're live?
Yes.
No, we shouldn't have been. I thought we were off camera.
No, we went back on camera. The rules are traditionally read online.
Oh, yeah.
If the hearing is adjourned?
No, that was supposed to be a recess where we would consider the evidence. I had asked you if we were offline.
We recessed to discuss the properties that
Right. Okay, and now we're back online. Is that what you're saying?
we're currently live. Yes.
Okay. I will call the meeting back to order. The board has deliberated and will proceed with the remaining items in the absence of the applicants, which you did. Okay. Sorry. We have heard all the items scheduled and this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Stu.